Hello. I am in Derby by the river. It's such a pretty place. I've been staying here for a few days, working on two really awesome projects that you will hear about very soon, and I'm so excited for it. I just wanted to talk about basically how people our age, in our 20s, and to be honest, people of any age, we compare ourselves way too much to other people. And I just wanted to talk about that because the reason why I feel like I want to address it is because when I got my fancy London job that I had for 3 years, and when I first got the job and I moved to London and lived there for 6 months, I kind of felt like I lied to everybody because I was like making out like I had a really great time there and that I was really living it up. And that was genuinely the case, that was genuinely true. However, I wasn't having the best time in terms of living, accommodation, or stuff like that really, and I was neglecting my health, and it wasn't very good that way. It was still difficult, and obviously being neurodivergent in such a busy city was difficult, and in employment full-time it was difficult being neurodivergent, so it was a whole thing really. But yeah, the reason why I really pushed it and was like, I'm having the best time ever, look at me, was because I'd been struggling to find a job for so long back then, and everybody in my life almost wasn't really being very nice about it. They're like, oh, I suppose you're gonna live with your parents forever, I suppose you're never gonna find anything, and oh, what are you gonna do then? Not being very nice to me about it. So I was terrified for my own self. I'm playing with grass. I thought I was never going to get anywhere in life. So then when I did finally get somewhere, it's like I was trying to say to everybody that put me down, that I'm all right now. Be like, look, I'm all right now. I'm surviving. I'm thriving. Because of the comments I had from people, and I was just not doing so good. And obviously, because we'd been in lockdown for so long, everybody was at a standstill. I thought my life was never going to go anywhere again after that. And I hear that a lot from people. A lot of people say that about their life and their career and stuff during COVID times. But I just wanted to make this video to say to you all that, people aren't realistic enough online. People will only show this much of their life, and it'll be the positive stuff. Like the thing I always say is, you'll see like people in their 20s, they'll move into a house that they've bought with like a deposit and stuff and everything. They look really happy and they've moved in with their partner, but they don't show the issues they face. They don't show that they have any leaks, or that they have any kind of squirrel infestations happen to them, or that they've got 39 pence left on the electricity meter and that the electricity's about to go off. People don't show that. They just go, yay, look at us, we're moving into our new house. And it's not the way to live, and it's not the way to believe it. We've got to be much more honest about what's going on, because otherwise it's just gonna upset people and put people down. But the people that are upset and put down should think and realise that actually you can only see the tiny bit of their life, like the good bits. You can't see what is fully going on. You can't see the full picture. So I always say to people, it might not be as perfect. Gosh, that goose is loud. Yeah, it might not be as perfect as people are making out. Like I said, I made my life out to be so perfect when I moved to London because of my own insecurities. And yeah, God, those geese, I'm so sorry. They're just on the water like that. I keep needing to fidget. I didn't put a fidget in my hand for this video. I don't usually anyway, but yeah. So a lot of people think that I was out all the time and I was living it up and having a really great time and that my life was perfect. When actually it really wasn't the case. Like, when I was living in London, actually, I was paying like £1,000 for a tiny studio. It weren't even a studio apartment, it was like a tiny room at the top of a hotel. Like, the top floor was like residential rentals and the rest was a hotel, but it weren't even that nice, you know? The shower was awful and the maintenance person took the light fitting down whilst I was at work in person, and I came back to completely no electricity whatsoever because he'd disabled all the electrics, and I had a fridge freezer in there. So that was hard, you know. It wasn't easy. And then there was the traffic noise because it was on a busy main road, you know, because it was just off of Brick Lane in London, which is the iconic, you know. People don't show these things, but also I've realised that, you know, there's friends of mine that have kids and a partner and they've settled down and they've got a job and they're happy, and then there's people that go travelling and backpacking and they've got no ties whatsoever and they're living that kind of life, and then there's people that, like me and like most of my friends, where we work a job either full-time or part-time, but we live at home with our parents, and we kind of just, yeah, and we're happy with that, you know. So the main thing is, if you're happy, it doesn't matter about anything else. If you are happy with your own life, then that doesn't matter what it looks like to anybody else. Like, I used to not like living at home because of the lack of independence, so then I moved out, and even though I liked that I moved out, I didn't have a full range of stuff there. You know, like at my parents' house, I've got all my musical instruments, I've got my Xbox, my Nintendo Switch, I've got, you know, my laptop, I've got, you know, and I've got more space to move around, and I've got my dogs, and I've got nice places to walk to, and, you know, I've got my parents to talk to and spend time with, you know, and to drive me places. I like that. Yeah, and I don't have to worry about anything really there. But yes, independence, like when I go through the door, like when I say to my parents, oh, I'm going out, you know, you get the who, what, where, when, why and how questions, which is annoying, but I don't really mind. Whereas before, I used to really not like it. I used to not like it. And then when I lived out, I liked the independence, but I didn't like how small it was because I couldn't afford much, really, you know. So yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? I mean, they say that living at home you pay with your sanity, and you do in a way, but there are pros and cons to every situation, you know. And I'm enjoying living at home with my parents at the moment. I'm not enjoying those geese though, whatever they are. I don't know if you can see them in the back. I've tried to make it pretty, like the background for you. But yeah, this comparison thing where it's like, why don't I look like that? Why don't I do that? Why don't I go here? Why don't I wear this? Why don't I? We're always looking for what we haven't got instead of appreciating what we've got. And I'm guilty of it as well. You know. I am. You know. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm jealous of or envious of or anything. I suppose people that get to make music all the time, or people that get to go on holidays a little bit often, or what else? The main one for me is because I had an issue with the stress hormone cortisol and it made me put on loads of weight. It's mainly when I look at people and I'm like, oh, I wish I was skinny again, you know, and stuff like that. That's the main one for me. It's mainly that with me. Or because my joints aren't fantastic. I'd like to be more physically active and my body doesn't really let me. But I think that's a tension issue, because I had severe anxiety for so long. I think that was just because my body was so tense, really. I think that was why. But yeah, other than that, it was all right. It was all right. You know, I'm doing a lot better now. I'm getting the hang of getting well again and looking after myself and not overdoing it. You know, like I should be in a swimming pool now, swimming around, but I don't really feel up to it. So I'm not going to push myself. And yeah, it's quite a topic. The main point of this video, sorry, I've just looked at my notes again. People shouldn't base their successes on whether they have got a partner or whether they've got their own car or their own house or something. Like, they think that these life milestones, they think that it's like the be all and end all, and they think that if they don't have a partner, then they're unlovable, or there's this, or they think there's something wrong with them when there isn't. It's just a timing thing, you know. Like, for example, I haven't been in a relationship for years and years and years, you know, like properly since 2019. But I'm not pushing it or forcing it, because that's not how it works. You can't push or force anything. It's about fate and destiny and when it's meant to happen and all of that. You know, it isn't about forcing or anything, or getting a partner just for the sake of saying you've got one, or getting, you know, it's not like that. It's not good to do that. So yeah, I really do not understand why people are like, oh, look at me, I've got a partner and I've got a house and a car and I've got, you know, everything and a job, really nice job that I happy with. That's great, but it's not the be all and end all, and you're not a failure if you don't have any of those things. You're like, I'm single and jobless, you know, and I don't have my own house or my own car, but I'm happy, and I know that those things will come along. And everybody that's older than me, like my parents and everybody, they say to me, those things will come in time. You know, those things will come in time. And when you think about it, you only live with your parents for a few years of your life. The rest of the time isn't. It's like, if you live until you are 60 years old, you will spend like 20 years or more, let's say 30 years living at home, let's say, for example. And then the rest of the time you spend living out. You know, that's half and half. Or if you live till, you know, 80 or 100, you move out after 30 something. And also, obviously, I haven't turned 30 yet because I'm 29, but I turned 30 in December of 2025, so this year. And even though I'm going to have like an existential crisis over it, I don't think it's that deep. I think that I don't think it's that deep, and I think that I've been told that your 30s are actually all right when you feel more confident and find yourself more than in your 20s. So yeah. But anyway, my foot is going numb, so I need to wrap up this video. I'm sat on a microfiber towel that I was meant to go swimming with. I didn't want to get a grassy bum, you know. But yeah, if you'd like to join my discussion about that, just comment down below and give me your thoughts. But yeah, honestly, just don't be so hard on yourself, because everything you want in life, it'll come along. Same as with me, you know. And the people that brag online about these things that don't, you know, that don't make you successful, you know, really, or is the society's construct of success, when actually authenticity and happiness is the actual real definition of success. If those people are in your life and all they ever do is brag on social media and go, look at me, I've got this, I've got that, just ignore them. Just say, well, you know, you had something go wrong in your life, you have had all these issues that you haven't documented, you haven't shown people, so this is inaccurate. And that's what you say to it. You don't fall for it, you don't buy into it. But yeah, anyway, yeah, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.